to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Dieter. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Dieter. Say happy birthday. Give Dieter kisses. Give him kisses for his birthday.
You want a bath for your birthday?
Yes, he wants a bath.
Okay, so we do a bath. Come on.
Dieter, give Dieter kisses, girls. Give him kisses. Say happy birthday.
Birthday.
He's giving you kisses. You want to give him a kiss?
Yeah.
Is he gonna give you kisses?
Oh, I gotta kiss you.
Give him kisses. Give kisses to Dieter. Oh, Dieter, Weeder. Oh. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So we are going to go over Troy McCoy and Chris Watts texts. Okay, we have three groups here. We have the first one I'll read to you is group of texts that start from the end of December 2017 up until the beginning of the year. And then the second group I'll read you is from a few months before everything happens up until a few days after everything happens. And then you have those few texts that are from his work phone. Well, you'll see as I go, because as I read them, they'll be dated and I'll read the dates. So, okay, so let's start. So, as you can see, I'm going into my Weld County files. It says Troy McCoy text, phone messages, redacted. Okay, we're going to do these ones first. Troy McCoy text, you can see personal phone chats. So that's saying personal because it's from Chris's personal phone, not his work phone. Okay, so let's go down the list. So the first one is from 12/8/17, so December 8th, 2017. So it's the prior year. Chris is the red and Troy's the blue. So Chris says, "You here?" And no answer as far as a text. And it wasn't until 12/16 that we see another text. So almost like a whole week later, basically, 8 days later. So I don't know if Troy ever responded back or maybe that he called him or whatever. Who knows? But anyway, Chris says to Troy, "Hey man, shoot me your personal email. I need to hit a goal. It's F. I don't know what that means." And then the same day at 1:15, so about 35 minutes later, doesn't look like Troy responds unless if Troy calls him, which it looks like they must have talked because it looks like Chris has responded to something that Troy said, but Chris says, "Tell him to answer his damn phone, LOL. Looking as we speak, trying to get it delivered. Earliest is Thursday." And then Troy says, "I guess, do you think I should start a different TE?" I'm not sure what that means. And Chris says, "I can ask Cecil Lammy, LOL. It's a coin flip between all of them." So those last two texts are about football, obviously. I think TE probably stands for tight end. Cecil Lammy's probably a football player. But the one before that, where Chris is talking about getting something delivered, I wonder what that's all about. So that basically was all, so far it's been all on the same day besides the first one, but the rest of it's been on the 16th of December, talking about ordering something, and then I don't know what else. Okay, so this is the same day, 12/16. Troy says, "That would work. I guess we will see what happens." And then Chris is responding like money, like making it rain. Isn't that what they call it? Which I know that Troy theory, it's crazy because with that in mind, reading through these, I feel like I could make it fit into that theory. Like everything fits in. And this is just all speculation because I personally don't believe in that theory. But if I were to believe in that theory, it could kind of go like maybe they're ordering something for this explosion. And he's saying, Chris is like, I'm trying to order it. And he's saying, that would work. I guess we'll see what happens. And he's like showing that they're going to make a lot of money from whatever they're doing, which if they're planning this explosion. And this whole explosion theory is that they would get a payoff through the insurance money. So, that make it rain, like they would get a lot of money if, at least with this theory, that's what is believed, that the motivation for all of it was to get this money, insurance money, basically. Like I said, I personally don't believe that that's what's going on. But I'm just saying it is kind of crazy how you can make it fit. And I know the people that do believe in this theory, I could see how you could kind of wonder as you read through these texts. Especially, you'll see that there's more too that kind of make you go, But I personally just don't. I think it's too far-fetched because, well, I'll tell you some of the reasons at the end why I don't think that that's what was going on. Okay, so Chris says Stafford get 24 to 30 points. Not sure what your scoring is set up as. I'm guessing that's that fantasy football crap. My brothers do it too. And that all could very well just be this money and what they were talking to prior. The only thing I don't get is what he was ordering. And then Troy says he got 17.4. And Chris says, geez, your scoring is set up weird. And Troy says, so Tony Brown can win, LOL. So I think these definitely right here are talking about that fantasy sports, whether it be football or basketball or whatever they're playing right there. And then, okay, so yeah, it would be football because this message, Chris says, I usually got 10 points for every 100 yards they threw. And Troy says, I wish that was the case. Chris says, I hope Rodgers only gets on TD then, LOL. So the next day at 10:09 a.m., Chris says, 2 Panther defenders inactive that are crucial, not a good sign. And Troy says, I guess we should take this time to pray. And then at 2:10 p.m., Chris says, 3 interceptions help your cause. Is that what that means? I don't know. I'm thinking because it's 3 and then, so 3 interceptions help your cause. Did he start Olsen? And Troy says 110 to 84. Chris says, which one are you? I know he's got Cooks in the game. And Troy says, he is up 130 to 85. And Chris says, geez, Ingram? Troy says, yes. Chris says, he had a 50-yard TD run at the end. And then a crying emoji. And Troy says, we tried. And then Chris says at 12:17, 3:08 p.m. says, AB just went out. I have him on my team. And then the next day at 7:03 p.m. he says 10-point play. And then the next text isn't until January 2nd. So it's 2018. And Chris sends him this Leonardo DiCaprio. What is that movie from? Shoe. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's a good movie, too. It's from that movie. And he says, 8-6 dilly dilly. Is that a line from that movie? I don't get the whole dilly dilly thing. I'm going to have to, let me look that up. What is that movie called, guys? I'm going to have to look that up, too. Why, when I put in dilly dilly, Bud Light beer campaign comes up. So I don't know if that's what... It's a nonsense expression for cheers, popularized by a 2017-18 medieval-themed Bud Light ad campaign. So I'm not sure if that's what they're responding. I mean, yeah, if all the ones I'm pulling up is this thing from Bud Light campaign that is supposed to mean like cheers. Oh, yeah, so that makes sense. Because Leonardo's cheersing. Okay. So he's basically saying 8-6, cheers. And Troy responds, maybe, dilly dilly. So basically he's saying cheers back. Okay, so then Chris says, maybe? Not set in stone yet? And then Troy says, no, just training, nothing set in stone. And then Chris says, oh, we were already planning your going away party. Haha. Was he maybe planning on leaving somewhere? Leaving work? Okay, yep, I'm editing this now. So this is an add-in. And yes, you'll see that it does look like he was actually looking for another job. That he basically had an interview for another job. But he doesn't end up getting it. You'll see as these texts go by. So yeah, so as of right now on that current day, he has an interview coming up. So he thinks there's a possibility that he may get the job. So he could be leaving his current job. But then it makes me go back to those other texts about when he's cheersing. And Chris says, 8 to 6, dilly dilly, which means cheers. Troy says, maybe not set in stone yet. And that comment is about the job. Then Chris asks, maybe? Not set in stone yet? And then Troy responds, no, just training, nothing set in stone. So they're talking about his job, right? His new possible job. So that maybe has to have something to do with the job. And then the text before that, where Chris said 8 to 6, dilly dilly, the maybe that Troy says right here is a response to that text. Right? Unless if there's some missing text, it just doesn't make sense. So maybe I feel like we could be missing some ones before that 8 to 6, dilly dilly. And maybe even some after for this to make sense. And why would they delete like specific texts? Or why would Troy, because these are from Troy's phone basically, right? Why would he delete certain texts out of his phone? Because if not, there has to be some text in between. And not even only at this part, throughout the whole conversation, it just seems like there's text here and there that are missing. Okay, I'm going to continue. Then Chris says, you're still number one. And Troy says, LOL, thanks, buddy. And then 3 days later, on the 5th, Troy says, poker tonight. We are shooting for between 6:30 and 7 if you're still interested in coming. And Chris says, hey, man, it's been a long day. And today being 12th day, I just want to rest. Let me know next time. I'm game for sure. I got so behind today. Troy says, okay, cool, man. I wonder if he ever ended up going and playing poker with him. I feel like, I don't know, I just can't see Chris doing that. Just didn't seem like he ever went out with his friends. But how would I know? I guess I don't really know him. But I just wonder if he ever did go over there to play poker with him. Anyway, so the next day, 1/6, Troy says, hey, buddy, sorry we are running behind, but we are on our way. I really do apologize if we are messing up your guys' party. And Chris says, you're a good man, no rush. And then the next day, at January 7th, at 1:51 p.m., Chris says, thanks for coming yesterday. Bella and Cece both slept until 7. They were worn out. And then Troy says, LOL, our kids slept in too. Thanks again for the invite. We really enjoyed it. Chris says, no problem. We will go easy on you next time with the Uno attack. And then Troy says, I did so bad at that game, LOL. Yeah, everybody starts at 250 next time, and I start at 0. Then it'll be fair. Are you by chance watching the Bills game? Chris says, yeah, Taylor looked like he got reverse choke slammed. Didn't look good. And Troy says, oh, I didn't know what happened. I didn't know if it was an injury or they were protesting, LOL. And Chris says, oh no, LOL, he got slammed. Troy says, okay, I'll have to rewind and check it out. And Chris says, that backup QB had no chance. Jack's going to Pittsburgh next Sunday. Troy says, well, you guys should win that one. And Chris says, we'll see. Ben threw 5 interceptions when they played earlier in the season. Troy says, yeah, but aren't they usually money in the playoffs unless they play the Patriots? And Chris says, I think the Steelers will redeem themselves. Patriots I hate so much. Would love revenge. Troy says, I'm with you. I hate the Patriots. And Chris says, Panthers need a new offense. And Troy says, yes, they do. And Chris says, your boy Cam Newton. And Troy says, I think Brock Osweiler is better, LOL. And Chris does the hand on the head. And Troy says, LOL, he dresses like he should be on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. And Chris says, he has swag. Troy says, I thought you were going to say colorblind, but we will go with swag. And then Chris says, after that hit, he might come out wearing a John Deere hat. And Troy says, LOL, I love to see get nailed. And then on January 11th, so about 4 days later, Troy says, "What's up, man?" And he says, "Did she mean enhanced?" So he's showing, I guess, a post that Shanann posted on Facebook, I think it is. It says new enhanced fusion technology. And Troy's just asking, "Did she mean enhanced?" And Chris says, "LOL, yes. She said bite me. She was excited when typing." And Troy said, "LOL, sorry, just wanted to give her a heads up. That's why I didn't comment on the post." So Chris says, "Yeah, she was excited. Crazy it didn't autocorrect to some crazy word." And Troy says, "I know, right?" Okay, so then on January 12th, so this would be the next day, Troy says, "I didn't get the MIT job. They basically said I was too negative." So here's that part I was telling you about where it looks like Troy was actually trying to get another job and he didn't get it. Looks like he had the interview and he didn't get the job. So then Chris says, "Dude, that sucks, man. You have to stay on that stupid route." And he says, "Yes, sir." So he must not like the route that he's on enough to try to change jobs. Huh. It's interesting that he wasn't happy at his job. Anyway, Chris is saying, see, that's another thing that can go along with that theory everybody's talking about, that he wasn't happy with Anadarko. Okay, so Chris says, "Were they serious about the negative part, or were you joking?" And he says, "No, serious. I just answered the questions honestly, and that's what they told me." And Chris says, "Geez, I guess they want everything sugar-coated." Okay, and then the next text isn't till the 19th. So it's about a week later. Troy says, "Hey, man, sorry such short notice, but we're going to try to have a poker tomorrow night and watch the UFC fight as well. You are more than welcome if you are able to come." And then Chris responds, "We'll see. Cece came home with the crud, so I want to see how she feels." And then, how she feels tomorrow. "How did this week go?" And then he sends a picture. And Troy says, "Poor Cece. I hope she gets better, man. This week was okay. I had most of it off. 3 of our kids were sick, so really didn't do much but take care of them." And Chris says, "Yeah, 102 fever and climbing. Probably be a long night." "Yeah, Shanann told me the whole clan was sick." And Troy says, "Yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, Faith was running 102.7, but her fever is gone now." And Chris says, "That's good. There's a flu bug at their school, so I think Cece may have got it." Troy says, "That really sucks, man." So on January 28th, so about 9 days later, Troy says, "Combo to the Denver gate." And Chris says, 2013. Troy says, "Thank you, sir." Chris says, "No problem." Oh, must be asking for the combination to some gate in Denver. Okay, so now we're up to February 3rd. Troy says, "I know you're a busy man, but poker at 5:30 if you're interested." Okay, so the next batch is actually, there's a video that the detective is basically recording him looking through Troy's texts. So what I did was I paused it and screenshot each one, so I'm able to read them to you as he's scrolling through. So, all right, so let me read those to you. So the first one says, it's from February 3rd, 2018, and it says, at 3:24 p.m., Chris says, "Shanann has a promoter coming over for some training tonight. Sorry, brother, I hope you win the pot tonight." And Troy says, "Okay, cool, man. I understand. I hope I do too. Should be a good pot tonight." And then Chris sends a little pic of a guy holding a bunch of money, probably referring to him winning the pot. I'm sure it's the poker game or card game that they're talking about. Troy says, "LOL." And then Troy sends a picture of, I'm assuming is his truck, which I know there's been a lot of speculation because there was a gray truck spotted by Betty and by that other neighbor. Which, you know what, I'm going to play a clip by the other neighbor to kind of debunk that I don't think that they're talking about Troy's truck, because they talk about it having the camper shell on it, and this doesn't have the camper. Well, actually, I guess somebody could argue that maybe he had put on the camper shell for that morning, so I don't know if he even has one. But normally I feel like a lot of people that have these kind of trucks don't normally have an extra camper shell laying around that they take off and put on whenever they feel like it. Usually I feel like it's more that if they have it, then they usually probably keep it on, I would say. I don't know. Let me know, any truck owners, if it's something that typically a truck owner of this type would have a camper shell that they take off and put on very often. But anyway, so yeah, let me play that clip of the neighbor talking about the gray truck. And then I could play when they knock on Betty's door and talk to her. I'll just play the part where she talks about the gray truck. And she says that there is a camper shell on the truck that she saw. And also said it was smaller than Chris's. Which if you look at this truck, if you look at Troy's truck, that's just as big as Chris's. That's like the same size as Chris's. So if she's accurate in her description, then this wouldn't match her description either. But I'll play both clips for you guys so you guys could hear them both and decide what you think it all means. But the clip when they're talking to Betty is kind of long, so I'm just going to play the part where she's talking about the truck. But if you want to see the whole conversation with Betty, I'll put the link in the description. Okay, here they are.
It's so loud.
Feel rain. Oh, it rain.
Oh, it's over there. That was either sweat or gel.
For both.
Yeah. Either way, burnt.
Hello.
Hi there, how you doing, man?
Good,
My name's
how are
Officer
you guys
President of
today?
the Frederick Police Department. This is Officer Lyons.
Hi. Hi.
Sorry, I'm having everything drip off
I know,
my eyes.
it's pouring out.
We're wondering if you had a chance to review that flyer that we had set down in your...
Yeah, I've been kind of following what's going on.
Okay.
The media. Yeah.
Do you know the family at all?
I don't know the family at all.
Are you just normally gone during the day?
I am. Me and my husband both work during the day. My oldest son's here during the day.
Anything unusual last couple days, even last couple weeks that you guys have noticed?
We just have like the break-ins in the neighborhood, which you
Right.
guys know of.
Mhm.
Yep.
We were gone the weekend before last. We were down in Denison. I haven't noticed anything weird. I mean, tonight we noticed something weird, which a couple of you guys were sitting down here in this gray truck. He, like, dumps out his beer can, and then, like, leaves it there, goes down around the block, comes back, picks it up, and, like, kind of tears out of here. We're like, what is that about?
In a gray truck?
Yeah, he got his license plate.
Did you call it in?
No.
Do you happen to have it still?
Yeah.
Right.
But I was
I
like,
would
you're going
love
to dump
that.
your beer can, and then you're going to come back for it when the cops are sitting right there?
Right?
That was weird.
Yes. Welcome to our world.
Yeah. And then...
ANJ
And my...
822.
And did you get a good look at the guy or no?
Yeah.
He
Roughly? If he did, that's fine. It's
had like a backwards cap on,
Yeah.
like a hoodie.
Yeah, maybe
Older,
20s,
younger,
30s.
white male? Okay. Did the truck say anything on it?
The gray truck with the camper shell.
It was a Ford.
With the Ford?
Gray
Yeah.
Ford?
Mhm.
Did they have the camper shell? What color was it?
The camper shell?
Uh-huh.
It was
Tinted
same
windows?
color as his
Yeah, it
car.
was like gray too.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, that was the only weird thing we saw tonight. We're like, what?
Newer, older?
It was an older model Ford.
Older
not one of the
model
newer ones.
Okay.
And then my neighbor across the street, she's got the cameras on her house. I'm sure you guys have talked to her.
Yeah, they've already, we've been out here in several rounds today, already gone down the entire other side.
Oh, okay.
We're just rechecking the people that
Rechecking
weren't
people that
home
weren't
when we
home.
did our
okay.
first sweep.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, like she said, we're just seeing if you noticed anything weird in between hand or, you know, any little detail would help out. You saw him walking out,
Yeah.
anything like that.
I haven't seen anything, unfortunately.
Hey, Sarge.
Okay. So you do have the flyers.
Am I already out there with?
You see anything? You hear anything?
I am
Other than what
with
social media
Mandy right now,
tracking
helping out
all
with
of
his
that.
canvas.
We've got a whole team of people working
With
on this.
Mandy?
But definitely give a shout out to that number that's on there.
Yeah, we're
Definitely do that.
Perfect. Thank you guys.
canvassing
And thanks for
the
getting all
area.
this excited to go. See if that has anything to do with anything or just another
Yeah,
just welcome
weird
to our
things.
world.
Yeah.
So, good job on you. So.
And I don't think, I've never seen that truck in the neighborhood that I know of.
No.
Is there something else
So,
you guys need us to do?
Yeah, there is. I mean, and that's the thing too, is, I mean, you kind of see kind of weird people in the neighborhood right now with the construction, and you're like, is it construction workers, or
Right.
is it
Yeah.
something else?
Yeah, that'll be
You
fine.
don't know.
With you.
Yep.
Because we saw a group of 4 gentlemen.
I'll call them and see where they want me.
I mean, they all look like they're all like carpet for
Okay.
work.
All right, thanks. Bye.
We're so highly excited right now. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
we appreciate it.
Thank you. Hello?
Okay, now here's Betty.
Anything different over the last, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days? Odd vehicles, odd noises, odd lights?
There was a truck out here yesterday. In fact, that's why I thought you were here yesterday. Maybe
Okay.
someone complained about that I hadn't seen before.
What type of
And,
truck?
It was kind of almost a steel gray.
Okay.
Don't ask me make
Okay.
year. But that was late afternoon. The dad has a great big truck, and it's gray. But
That
this
wasn't
one
that
was
one.
smaller.
Okay.
This one was smaller.
Then
But I hadn't seen it before, so
any markings or stickers or anything that would be weird? You wouldn't by a chance remember if the plate was green or red or...
No, I kind of just I don't
glanced
pay
at
any
it.
attention because I believe he owns his own business or something because he always has a truck parked there, so
Okay.
kind of,
I gotcha.
I just kind of noticed it wasn't the normal truck.
Was it dirty by any means?
No, it wasn't, and it couldn't have been that old.
Okay. How long was the truck sitting there?
I saw it yesterday morning around 5:15 a.m. because I go to the gym then.
Okay.
It was still there when I got back at 6:45, and then it was there around, I think, noontime.
Okay.
And the reason I mention it is it was gone by the time you guys left yesterday.
Okay. Well, did you see the police in the area while that truck was still here?
See, I can't see it from my house.
Gotcha.
So it could have been gone by then.
Okay.
But this is unusual. Very quiet neighborhood.
Right. Yes, this is very unusual. That's why we're got a lot of resources out here trying to find them and make sure they're
Yeah,
okay. So,
I mean, I didn't know she was pregnant again. I hardly ever see her.
okay. How do you know she's pregnant?
It said it on Neighborhood Watch.
Okay. I gotcha. But you didn't know it?
No,
Okay.
I hardly ever see her. Just normally, they keep very much to themselves.
When you did see her, did you ever see her around her husband?
Yeah.
How
They
were
would
they?
have barbecues.
Yeah. Were they polite, friendly, or was she kind of quiet, reserved, or what was?
They both are very quiet,
Very quiet,
reserved, very quiet.
Okay. When was the
Nice
last time
neighbors.
you spoke to her?
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've seen her all summer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
the kiddos, when was the last time you saw little kiddos?
You're making me work my
I
brain.
know, really digging deep in it.
It could be 4 to 6, kind of what I notice, and they don't go outside and
And 4,
3 and 4.
according to my pamphlet.
Yeah,
So,
they're
okay.
cute little things.
Anything that I haven't asked that you think I should know, or is just odd, or something you thought was weird?
I wouldn't think anything is weird from over there because normally you hardly ever see anyone go in, come out. Now, I saw his truck leave yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. I was leaving for the gym. His truck had the lights on, which is unusual for that morning, 5:15 in the morning. Only fools like me are up.
So you don't usually see him leave at that time of day? And was that the gray truck, or what truck was that?
That was his regular truck. It's a pretty big truck. Maybe, what could I compare it to? An $250, $350, the big ones. Yeah.
And that steel truck, is that like a pickup or a
Pickup.
pickup truck?
Yeah.
Does that have a camper or anything? Camper shell or anything on the back of it? Would you say it's bigger than that truck?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it have 2 or 4 doors, do you know?
No, I don't. I never paid much attention. I'm gonna stop paying attention. This is scary.
Well, if it doesn't happen again, or
Yeah.
very often
I,
at least.
I hope not. Oh God, I hope the mother and 2 children are found okay.
We all
But
hope.
there's no, like I said, never any noise, never any yelling. Very quiet, very pleasant when you speak to them. They keep to themselves.
Never heard an argument or anything over there?
Never.
Okay. Did they ever mention if they've ever been in a fight or having bad days to you?
No.
No.
No, the neighbors, and we really don't talk much. I mean, Shoal and I do because we're the same age. They're so much younger. There's not a lot in common,
Well, fair
you
enough.
know,
Okay. That'll
to be
work.
honest.
And so, was it yesterday morning, Monday morning, that you went to the gym?
I go every day.
Okay, so then, if you can remember yesterday morning going out, was there...
That's when I noticed the little truck.
Okay, and where was it? Was it in the driveway or on the street?
No, it was on the street. It was between the 2 houses, right about in front of my tree, you know.
He said it's a little truck or the,
It's a smaller truck than what's normally there.
okay, like that size or smaller?
No, maybe that size.
Maybe that size? Okay.
No camper.
And that was the gray one?
Yeah.
And you think
I
his normal truck's like the 2500
Yeah,
or
it's a
3500?
bigger truck.
But both gray?
Yeah, but different shades of gray.
Okay. The other littler one, was it darker or lighter?
I believe it was lighter.
Okay.
Is it more like a steel gray, right?
Yeah. And the other one's darker. Maybe a hint of green in the gray.
Okay.
Yeah. But I haven't, except for this morning, come to think of it, I haven't seen a lot of the big trucks. Is that what you're finding? You haven't seen, I mean, not that I'm wide awake at 5 in the
Right,
morning,
right.
but, you know, you're making me think that I did see the truck, I believe it was this morning, because the lights were turned on. And I was pulling, you have to be careful coming out of here, because it's kind of a 3-way mess if you're all going the same
Yeah.
place. But I noticed that the back lights were on. But,
And that was around 5:15 this morning?
yeah, I leave 5:15 every morning.
Okay.
And that's kind of odd for him.
Well, I don't, not often do I see the lights that early.
Okay.
But then he could leave at 5:20 and I would not know it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You see him leave sometimes in the morning to go to work? You ever...
Not often. No. I kind of keep to myself and no. Not. I'm really not nosy. I have been the last 2 days with you
Sure.
guys out here, but yeah.
Is it just you that lives here, or?
No, I have a significant other, but he's at work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they could possibly be talking about 2 different trucks. Maybe Betty saw one truck and these other neighbors saw a different truck. Maybe it wasn't even the same truck that they're talking about. Who knows? It's just interesting, though, that they both mention a gray truck. And then we see this text where Troy has a gray truck, and then also we know NK has a gray truck in her family. But then you got to think of how many gray trucks there are out there, how many different people drive gray trucks. So it could just be some random truck that has nothing to do with anything. Okay, so back to this video. So he sends a picture of the truck for some reason, and then Chris says, nice. So that's at, what, February 14th? Okay. And then at 4:52 p.m., Troy says, thanks. And then later on that night at 8:14 p.m., Chris sends him, I don't know, like a screenshot of, it says let's see what this says. 2015 to 2017 Ford F-150 tailgate handle camera system. At Rostra, we're pleased to announce the availability of an all-new backup camera system for the 2015-17 Ford F-150. part number blah 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 includes a CMOS color camera integrated directly into a replacement tailgate handle, a 30-foot extension harness with thread together weatherproof connectors, an adapter to connect to any RCA equipped video monitor, and selectable parking and grid lines blending OE style with increased driver visibility. For vehicles equipped with the factory installed 4.2-inch LCD screen, we also offer part number blah blah blah, which includes tailgate handle, integrated camera described below, and a video interface module for displaying video on the truck's original screen when the vehicle is shifted into reverse. As well, we're pleased to offer this tailgate camera with a 4.3-inch LCD equipped rearview mirror as a part number blah blah blah, designed to replace the factory tailgate handle on newer model Ford F-150 trucks. So yeah, here's a couple pictures. So I don't know, maybe he's talking about getting a camera for his truck, maybe. I don't know. Or is he getting a new, is that his new truck? Did he just get it? I'm not sure. And then he also sent another screenshot of this remote start system, one-way vehicle system, remote start, and then vehicle security system. So you got the vehicle security system Ford Perimeter Plus for $198. Remote start key fob long range one way $41.43. Vehicle security system upgradable directional or bi-directional remote start antenna kit $62.86. So not sure why he's sending this. Maybe a conversation they had at work or something about, maybe Troy was talking about getting a camera and a remote starter for his car, and Chris just sent him these to take a look at, because these are from Chris, it looks like. So yeah, maybe he's just showing him these prices and these different options for Troy. I don't know. So if you're wondering what that noise is, it's because it was raining last night and sleeting. So now that I'm editing it right now, this is the next day. It's not raining anymore, but it was raining last night. Well, sleeting last night. And as I'm editing it right now, I could hear it. So just in case you guys were wondering what that noise is, that's all it is. So the remote starter thing does kind of make you go, because you'll see a little bit later, there's this program, Pulse Secure, that could possibly be some kind of remote access. And then the whole concept of a detonator would be like a remote access or a remote starter, basically, to remotely set the explosion. Okay, back to the text. And then Troy says, thanks, man. Okay, so now at 2:17, so 3 days later, Chris sends him a picture. Who is that? Oh wait, that face looks familiar. Why can't I think who that is? But he sends him either a pic, or maybe this is a little GIF or a short video or something. No, it's a flip.com, so I don't know. And then Troy sends something back. The pops I got from that guy. So I'm not sure what that is. Pops. I can't tell what those are. I don't know. Some kind of collector kind of thing, I feel like. Okay. And then Chris responds, hell yeah, man. And Troy says, I know it may seem lame to some people, but I am a nerd, lol. Chris says, laughing my butt off. Everyone has their thing. Never knew about TV input lag until today. And Troy says, lol, I have a bunch of random knowledge. So I'm thinking maybe it was a conversation they had at work. Maybe Troy was talking to Chris about TV input lag, and so Chris made a remark about, their conversation they had earlier, and then Troy says he has a bunch of random knowledge. Then Chris says, but hey, it's useful knowledge. Troy says, I guess you could say that, lol. And I know this could probably, people would read into this, the people that are believing this Troy theory of him being involved in some way, and that, co-workers planning this explosion for insurance money, which, like I said, I personally don't believe in that theory, but I know there is a lot of people that do. So I feel like people would kind of look into this comment and think that he's talking about maybe some knowledge on anything to do with the explosion. And I know part of the theory is maybe that they were working on a way so they could do it remotely. I'm just trying to put my mindset the mind of someone who thinks this theory is true and what they could be thinking of these comments. And they could think that maybe this could possibly be about knowledge about this plan that they have. Chris saying it's useful knowledge, and he's saying, you know, just like kind of like a little inside joke, but yet meaning this plan that they're talking about. I don't know. Okay, back to the text. About almost a whole month later, March 10th, Chris says, how's the Mars 28C running? And Troy says, 22 arrivals yesterday and 2 this morning. Pressure looks good. So I want to look up Mars 28C and see what, like, just Google it and see what comes up. Because I have no idea. Maybe it has something to do with oil type stuff, oil tanks, oil fields. Okay, so this is what you get when you Google Mars 28C. So, talks about before the Oil Conservation Commission. Let's see. Oh, let's click on one of them. It's before the Oil and Gas Conservation Commission of the State of Colorado. Okay. In the matter of the application of Kerr-McGee Oil and Gas Onshore LP for an order establishing 1 acre wellbore spacing unit for 1 horizontal well in the Codell Formation for Section 28, Township 1. Okay, what is this here? It's undersigned attorneys, makes application to the Oil and Gas Conservation. Yeah, just something to do with work, it looks like. Okay, let me do what is. Let's see if that helps. This actually says Weld County. Weld County, let's see. Colorado Weld County. Yep, Kerr-McGee Oil and Gas onshore. Plugged and abandoned. So it looks like it's just talking about different oil tanks. And some are plugged and abandoned. And some are producing. But it's all in Weld County. So we got Mars State, Weld County. Yeah, so definitely something work-related. There we go, Anadarko. Companies in the area. So, okay. Still not 100% sure what it's specific. The Mars 28C is specifically, but I know I could figure it out if I look into it more. But I'm going to move on and continue with this video for now. Looks like it has something to do with oil stuff, oil tanks. Okay, so let's continue with the text. Okay, so he asks, how's the Mars 28C running? This is Chris asking Troy that, and Troy says 22 arrivals yesterday and 2 this morning. Pressures look good. And then Chris responds with a girl doing a little dance, it looks like. And Troy says LOL. And then looks like Chris is sending Troy his email. And then you see he sends a picture of a Lexus. Looks similar to the one that Shanann has, but a different color. And then he sends a picture of the explosion. Pipeline fire in Kansas. Denver 7. Now this is the weirdest coincidence. So this is from... Well, I guess the picture of the Lexus is from May 9th. And then over a month later is when he sends the picture of the explosion. So if you were just to look at this real quick, it looks like he sent the Lexus and then the explosion is like, oh my gosh, the theory, because people's theory is that they were going to have someone pretend to drive Shanann's Lexus to the oil field and, well, to Survey, and then the explosion. So it looks like, wow, this is definitely what they're saying right here. But no, it's over a month later that he texts this explosion one, which is still kind of weird. I just think it's a really weird coincidence, because the theory is that somebody was going to drive Shanann's Lexus to Survey, and then pretending that, you know, Shanann is upset or wants to get a hold of Chris, and then drives to Survey, then the explosion happens. But if you look, it's a whole month late, over a month later when he sends the explosion picture. But it is weird. It's a very weird coincidence, I think, in my opinion. See, I don't think that this is what the plan was, because think about it. Nicole Atkinson didn't get to the house till almost noon. Well, till noon, afternoon. 12:10 is when she set the first alarm off and tried to open the front door. So if they were planning this explosion with this plan of driving Shanann's car out there, then it would have already had happened that morning before NA even showed up at Chris and Shanann's house. And it didn't, because that wasn't the plan, in my opinion, because why didn't it happen then? So I know some people are saying that, well, it's the reason that it didn't happen is because they couldn't get into Shanann's phone because they didn't have her password. So that kind of stalled everything. But the thing is why wouldn't they at least went through with the explosion? Because that was the most important part. Oh, well, with the phone or not, I think it's more important to go through with the plan rather than not go through with it, because they can't send I think what their theory is they wanted to send some text to show that Shanann was on her way to Survey's to prove that, Shanann was on her way there and that's what happened. But I'm sorry, you wouldn't risk not doing the explosion because of not being able to send a text. You would just go through with it if that was the plan anyway. You would go through with it and then just hope that people would believe that part, because either way, you have to explain 3 dead bodies. I mean, you have to explain this murder away. So either way, you're kind of screwed. So why not at least go through with the plan? And Chris could say, I don't know, she just showed up, she was upset or whatever. And hope that it works out, but to give up that main part of the plan, if that was the plan, just because you can't get a text, because she wasn't able to send a text, they weren't able to send a text to Chris or get into Shanann's phone. I mean, that seems like the more important thing is to have the explosion if that's the plan, I mean, they're still have to explain these missing people, his missing family, so either they would have no reason at all for them to be gone, or at least take a chance with this explosion thing. Yeah, you can't get into her phone, but at least take a chance and just say she showed up. I mean, that'd be silly to just not go through with the main part of the plan because you can't get into somebody's phone. I don't get that part. I mean, that would make sense if they didn't go through with the murder already. Like if Chris didn't, now I'm saying they because I'm talking about if this theory was true. So if they didn't go through with the murder already, yeah, back out if you can't get into her phone. But the fact is, the murder already happened. So the smartest thing is to go through with the plan, right? You would still go through with that and then just try to improvise from there. Because Chris still has to explain his family being gone. And then eventually, I mean, since they didn't go through with the plan, if this was the plan, remember, I'm saying this as if this theory is true, then you have to explain 3 dead bodies too, right? But the fact of, if that is your plan and then you don't go through with the main part of it, that makes it so much worse. I mean, that would mess up way more than not doing the main part because you don't have the text. Yeah, just go ahead with the explosion and then, like I said, just say, oh, she just showed up, rather than no explosion and now you can't explain where his family is. He can't explain where he has his missing family, and obviously it's going to go back to Chris because the bodies are at the site he was at, the first place he went that morning. So obviously he's got to explain that anyway. He would have had more of a chance saying that she just showed up at his work site and then the explosion rather than they're at his site dead. You know what I'm saying? And here's another issue with this theory. Let's say they did get into Shanann's phone and everything was going as planned. Why would he stick Cece and Bella in the tanks if his plan was to pretend that they showed up at Survey and then there was an explosion? How would he explain the girls being in the tanks? That makes no sense with this theory because they were in the tanks. He stuck them in the tanks and he did that early enough where if, for this theory, if that was the plan, he probably at that point still thought that the plan was going to work. He stuck them in there right when he got to the site. So how does that make any sense with the theory of them showing up at Survey? Because even if there's an explosion, they're going to be able to tell that the girls were in the tanks. So that doesn't go along with them just showing up in the Lexus at Survey because they're upset with Chris, because Shanann's upset with Chris, and then it blowing up. Because what, the girls just take a little dip in the tanks for fun? I mean, I don't mean to make a joke about it, but it just, that part, you just can't explain that part with this theory, because they would, once they do the cleanup after the explosion, they're going to see that the girls are in the tanks. So that wouldn't go with the theory of them just showing up in the Lexus and it exploding, because then you'd still have to explain who put them in the tanks. I feel like there's too many holes in this theory. Okay, so let me continue here. So on 6:15 at 9:34 a.m., so this was basically 34 minutes after Chris sent that screenshot of the explosion. Troy responds, wow. And then he said, oh, and then 3 days after that at 8:03 p.m., so on June 18th, he says, she is doing good, man. Made it out of surgery just fine and is now at home. I'm going to try and just take tomorrow off. I hope to be back at work on Wednesday. So I don't know where the text is where he's, Chris probably is asking Troy how she's doing for Troy to respond. So I don't know why there's some of these missing texts where it's like somebody will respond, but you don't see the original text. But anyway, okay, so next we have Chris says, awesome, so glad to hear that. Take as much time as you need, man. No turn-ons until Friday. So I'm sure that he's talking about the oils, the work, turning on tanks or whatever. I'm not familiar with the whole process of exactly what they do, but I'm sure it has something to do with the oil tanks. And then Troy responds, okay, thanks, buddy. And Chris says, no problem, man. And then 10 days later, on June 28th, Troy texts Chris, how do I find out what gear ratio is in my truck? And Chris says, take a picture of the tag on the rear end. Should be connected to one of the bolts. And Troy says 10-4. And then about a month later, on July 29th, Troy says to Chris, you are off tomorrow, right? Chris says, I'm working tomorrow. And Troy says 10-4. And Chris says, so this is Thursday. So this is up to the current time of when this all happened. So that would be that Thursday prior to the incident, the murders. Chris says, I'm on PTO tomorrow. Forgot to tell you. I will meet up with you for the fire stick sometime tomorrow if that's cool. Troy says, yes, sir, that's fine. So Friday at 1:34 p.m., Chris says, so this is the day they end up meeting for the fire stick. Chris says, don't let Robbie steal your thunder, LOL. What time you want to meet up for that fire stick? And at 2:07 p.m., Troy responds, whenever, buddy. And then at 2:33 p.m., Chris says, what area are you going to be close to when you leave? And Troy says, 44. Chris says, I will start heading that way now. When you leave, call me so I know where at. And then at 3:05, Chris says, here, park next to the orange 5.0. Troy actually talks about that car in the interview, about it being parked there. Okay, so at 4:22 p.m., Chris says, thanks again, man. I appreciate it. And at 4:53 p.m., Troy says, no problem. And at 7:38 p.m., Troy says, quick question. How do I find SOPs? And then at 7:57 p.m., he says, I found it. And Chris says, seriously? And with like a sad face. And Troy says, I'm sorry. And Chris says, been trying to get Pulse Secure to load up. So wait, what is SOP? Let's look up SOPs, guys. Impulse Secure. SOP, a thing giving or done as concession of no great value to appease someone whose main concern or demands are not being met. What? Hold on a second. How do I find SOPs? Huh. What? I'm not sure. I'm sure that's not what he means on that. Let's see. Oh, duh. Oh my gosh, I'm silly. It's a standard operating procedure. is a set of step-by-step instructions compiled by an organization to help workers carry out routine operations. Okay, duh. So they're probably talking about a specific thing they're trying to find, which Chris is probably already aware of what program or what thing that he needs the standard operating procedure. So I don't know why he's acting like seriously like he's sad or something. But I want to see Pulse Secure. Let's look that up. Pulse Secure is the Pulse client creates a secure connection to your corporate Pulse Connect Secure SSL VPN gateway to provide instant access to business applications and data from anywhere at any time. Okay. Oh, I know these people. I know some of you guys that are following this theory, that believe this explosion theory. I'm sure your ears are perked up on this one, because look at this. Remote access. Because I know most people that believe in this theory believe that there's maybe possibly a detonator. So remote access, possibly this could go along those lines. If, like I said, I don't believe in the theory, but I'm just pointing out some things that kind of go along with it for those of you that are looking into it and are just curious. Where did that say? You could look at this as some kind of remote access type thing, which it is. It is a remote access, but you could look at it as them looking into it for like a detonator type thing for this explosion theory. And I mean, I personally just believe it's for work. However, they're able to use it for work, for what they're doing. But like I said, the people that are following this theory can look at it as possibly a way that they're learning how to build and work this detonator. And the weird thing is this conversation happened the same day that he met with him for the Fire Stick. So some could argue, oh, so he was trying to figure out that standard operating procedure for the Fire Stick, and that's what they were talking about, because considering they just had met earlier that day, like 3 hours prior. So I could see how you could wonder, they just made the Fire Stick exchange. Now they're trying to figure out the standard operating procedure, and the Pulse Secure is some kind of remote access. So maybe they're trying to get that all figured out. Is it just a coincidence that it was the same day that exchange took place? So, I mean, I get it. There's some weird things like that going on that make you go, Okay, I'm going to look into this Pulse Secure a little bit here. Let's see. Because I don't fully understand how this works, the Pulse Secure, what it exactly is. So yeah, it's basically a gateway to provide instant access to business applications and data from anywhere at any time. Pretty cool, actually. Maybe they could operate some of the batteries, the tanks or whatever, remotely somehow. Don't laugh at me, because I don't understand how that would be applied to the oil field industry. But let me read you a couple things here. Okay, so it says Pulse Secure. Virtual Application Delivery Controller enables popular collaboration tool vendor to increase SaaS responsiveness and reduce complexity. Pulse helps us to provide the best possible customer experience while offering us the flexibility to grow and adapt as our products and services evolve. Then it says, how does Pulse Connect Secure works? How Pulse Connect Secure works. Pulse Connect Secure authorizes the resources that are accessed by users through an extranet session hosted by the appliance. Pulse Connect Secure intermediates the data that flows between external users and the company's internal resources to provide robust security. The following diagram is an example of Pulse Connect Secure within a LAN environment. And then here's the diagram. So, see, it says internet, and then it goes out employees with home PCs, employees with mobile devices, employees with corporate laptops, router, firewall, and then this PSA 7000. You have the AAA auth server, email server, application server. So that's the diagram. And then it says, during the process of intermediation, the PCS receives secure requests from the external authenticated users and makes the request to the internal resources on behalf of the user. By intermediating the need to deploy extranet toolkits in traditional demilitarized zones or provision a remote access VPN for employees is eliminated. Or provision a remote access VPN for employees is eliminated. So yeah, the Pulse Connect Secure enables you to give employees, partners, and customers secure and controlled access to your corporate data and applications, including file servers, web servers, native messaging, and email clients, hosted servers, and more from outside your trusted network using just a web browser. I'd say like conspiracy type thinking, way of thinking. But not, I mean, maybe not necessarily conspiracy, but this whole remote access to files and being able to do different things. This also could come into play of Chris being able to access Vivint or the Ring doorbell and kind of remotely be able to control that. Like I said, I personally just think it's for work, but I like to throw out these ideas for some of you that are entertaining other thoughts. Okay, so let me continue with these texts. So let me go back to the text we were just on. So basically, he's asking Chris to help find the standard operating procedure for the Pulse Secure, I'm guessing, and then he ends up finding it, and Chris is like, seriously, like kind of like, oh, sad or upset or just like, what, you know? And he said, I'm sorry, and Chris has been trying to get Pulse Secure to load up. So I think that face is more because he's having trouble and he can't get it to work maybe, or he's having issues with it working, and Troy just got his pretty quick, it looks like. And yeah, so Troy says, I got lucky, LOL. And then Chris says, I'm going to forward you the link. Don't delete it, LOL. And Troy says, okay, LOL. And Chris says, sent. And Troy says, got it. Thanks, man. Chris says, no problem. I should probably just go all the wells and set AF to 30 minutes since I have it open, right? And Troy says, that's what Brian would do, LOL. And Amanda found some interesting thing about this statement right here. Maybe I'll have her up on the live so she could kind of explain it. I'll let her explain what she found. Some weird thing that links back to Brian Wells. But let me just Google set AF to 30 minutes and see what I get. Set AF to 30 minutes. "30 minutes timer, online stopwatch." I have no idea what that means. But I'll let Amanda on the next live maybe come up and explain this connection she found. So remember that movie? I think it was called 30 Minutes or Less. It's based off of a real event. And his name was Brian Wells. So she made this connection between that and this phrase, I guess. But I'll let her explain that. And that's what she thought, well, maybe that's what Troy's talking about. That's what Brian would do, LOL, which is weird. Going back to that theory, the explosion theory, that would be kind of weird. Just a weird coincidence, them talking about that. Like I said, I'm not even sure if that's what they're even referring to. But like I said, I'll let her explain that. But that would be Friday, the day that Chris meets Troy for the fire stick. So that's kind of weird. The whole theory of that being a detonator, and then if this has something to do with the guy and with the strapped on his chest and the timer, it's just all kind of weird. So when Troy says that's what Brian would do, LOL, Chris says I'll do it. Another weird thing. Troy says classic with the laughing. Okay, so that was Friday. Now Monday at 1:13 p.m. So this is the Monday, August 13th, at 1:13 p.m. This would be at a time where Troy's aware that his family's missing. but they don't know what happened. So Troy says, I hope everything is okay, man. If you need anything, let me know. And then at 2:27, Chris says, cops are here. And then Troy says, at 2:42, Troy says, I am sorry to hear that, man. If it gets crazy and you need a place to stay, you know you are more than welcome at my place. And Chris says, thanks, man. I truly appreciate it. Truly. Then Monday at 7:59 p.m., Troy says, hey, man, any news? Not trying to bother you. I know you are going through a lot. I am praying for you, man. And Chris says, no news, man. Police searched the entire house. And then at 8:18 p.m., Troy says, sorry to hear that, man. I will keep praying for you guys that everybody is found and returned home safely. If you need anything, just let me know. And at 8:24, Chris says, thanks, man. And then yesterday, so I don't know when this day is, because whenever they took the screenshots, it would have been that yesterday. So Troy says, hey, sorry to bother you, but just wanted to make sure you were hanging in there, man. I hope you will have answers soon. Just want to let you know we are thinking of you and praying for you and your family. Like I have said before, if there's ever anything I can do, just let me know. So this would have to be Tuesday, because Chris ends up responding, and he wouldn't have responded Wednesday. Wednesday would be when he would be taking a polygraph, so he wouldn't be responding at this time. So this would have to be Tuesday, I'm guessing. So Chris says, this has turned into a nightmare. And at 12:03 p.m., Troy says, I'm truly sorry, man. And then at 2:30 p.m., Chris says, a nightmare and a circus, dude. I just want them to come running back through the door. I'm guessing everyone at work knows. And then at 2:45, Troy says, yes, they know. It's all over Facebook. And then at 2:54, Troy says, some people have been asking what's going on, and I tell them I don't know anything other than what the police are saying. I hope they can find them soon for you, man. If you need to get out of the house for a bit, you are more than welcome at my place. So that remark's a little weird. He says, some people have been asking what's going on, and I tell them I don't know anything other than what the police are saying. Why would he word it like that? Why wouldn't he just say, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like it's worded weird. Like he's saying, I just tell him this, I'm not going to tell him what I know. I'm just going to tell them only what the police are saying. Why wouldn't he just say, I tell them what's going on, what I know, or whatever? Or he could say something like, I tell them everything I know. But the fact that he's just saying that he tells them that he doesn't know anything other than what the police are saying, it just makes me think that he's telling Chris, don't worry, I'm not telling him everything, that he knows more, and he's not telling him everything he knows, just what the police are saying is the only thing he's telling people. I don't know, it's just a weird thing to say, I feel like, or a weird way to say it. Let me know what you guys think of that. And then at 3 p.m., Chris says, I know, man, thanks. And then Troy says, no problem. And then at 3:09, Chris says, this is the scariest thing I've ever experienced. And then at 3:14 p.m., Troy says, I can't even imagine what you're going through, man. Do you have any family or friends there with you so you're not just going crazy? And Chris responds at 3:30 p.m. My friends Nick and Amanda are here. They've been here all day talking to news crews too. And Troy says, okay, I just wanted to make sure you were not alone during all of this. I wish there was something I could do to help. And Chris says, I don't know, man. I really don't. And Troy says, I will just keep praying that they find them soon. Keep me in the loop if you can, man. If you ever need to talk to anyone, call me anytime. And then Chris responds at 3:43 p.m. Thanks, man. Okay, so those are all the ones from Chris's personal cell. And as you can see, it seems like there's some text missing throughout this conversation here and there, which could just be nothing innocent. I mean, I'm just saying that sometimes you see like a text and they're responding to something, but there's nothing there that they're responding to. So I'm guessing that maybe it's a text that's missing, or maybe they had a phone conversation and they're responding to that. It could just be that. Okay, so the last batch of texts are his work phone, from his work phone. So it's the ones that are when he's at the site and stuff, or on the way to the site. So let me bring those up. So you see it's from the Weld County. So Weld County files. Okay, so it's at Monday. So that Monday morning at 6:41 a.m., Chris says, you headed out to Survey? I'm out here. Cody said something about pumping up the 1029. And Troy says, now just out of curiosity, let's look at the GPS and see when he actually got out there. Hold on a second. See if I could find it real quick. Okay, so just out of curiosity, I wanted to see what time he actually got to Survey. So this is the GPS on his work truck. We have Chris's and Troy's, actually. So Chris gets to, well, basically he gets to Survey 319 at 6:53. So let's go back. See, so he leaves his house at 5:46. It takes him 1 hour and 7 minutes. He arrives at Survey 319 at 6:53 a.m. and the distance was 47 miles. Stop duration is 2 hours and 36 minutes. Okay, so 6:53. So let's remember that. Let's go back to the text. Okay, so at 6:41, he says that I'm out here. He doesn't actually get to Survey 319 till 6:53. So he doesn't actually get to 319 till 12 minutes after he tells Troy that he's out there already. But I'm guessing that he just means he's on the Survey property because it's really big. So he could have already got maybe through the first gate and be on Survey, but not to the site 319 yet. Because as far as what I understand is it could probably take 12 minutes to get from one site to the next. You could already be in Survey, but it could take you 12 minutes to get to a specific site. Not only because how big it is, but also because you have to drive slow on those dirt roads. All right, so Troy says, well, since you're out there, you want to fire it up? Have Cody bring his cables. Chris says, okay, I will. And Troy says, thanks. I'll head that way here in a bit. So let's see when Troy actually heads to Survey. Okay, so 8:51, is that right? Why was I thinking it was earlier? Okay. So he leaves the office at 7:44 a.m. Takes him an hour. Wow, it takes him the same amount of time to get to Survey as it took Chris. So he gets there at 8:51 a.m. So it's 7:44 is when he leaves. So let me see here. So 7:44 is when he leaves to head out to Survey. So when he says thanks, I'll head that way here in a bit. So after Troy sends that text about leaving in a bit, he's at the office for about another hour before he heads to Survey. Okay, so the next text is actually, I'm guessing this is yesterday, because I'm sure they took the screenshots from both of his phones the same day, right? When he was interviewed. So, yeah, it has to be, because Wednesday couldn't be Wednesday, because Chris was taking the polygraph all day, and then he confesses, and he's arrested. So, okay, so 8:01 a.m. Tuesday, Troy says, hey, man, just letting you know I'm praying you get some answers. And if you need anything, let me know. And Chris says, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And then at 2:13 p.m., Troy says, I know probably getting overloaded with questions, but you getting any answers, bud? And then at 3:23 p.m., Chris says, not much at all, man. Just more questions asked of me by the news. This is going way up the news chain, man. And then Troy says, stay positive, man. I can't imagine what you're going through. If you need me to do anything, let me know. Or if you just need company, I can come visit you or take you out for dinner. Chris says, thanks, man. I appreciate it, truly. Just shows Chris as one of his contacts. Okay, so that's all the text that I have. So let me know what you guys think. We'll talk about it in the next live. If anybody has any thoughts about any of these. And just because I don't believe the explosion theory, I would still like to hear maybe some thoughts on how some of these texts could kind of go along with that theory. Those of you that are kind of going with that theory or feeling that maybe there's a possibility that that was the plan and you see some kind of connection with the texts that relate to the theory, let me know. We could discuss it in a live, or even if you want, let me know in the comments or email me. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have found with the text and how it could relate to this theory. Alrighty. Hope everybody's having a good day. Talk to you next time. Bye.